Hello students, we have started with electricity. Lastly, we have studied about Ohm's law and resistivity of the material. I hope you have drawn circuit diagram of Ohm's law. You have studied, you have practiced well the diagram. You have also studied about that how Ohm's law is derived or verified. So do study about it. Circuit diagram is must in your in your answer. We are now going to some numericals related to it. So here first numerical I have taken 12.3 and that is on page number 208 of your textbook. How much current will an electric bulb draw from a 220 volt supply if the resistance of the bulb filament is 1200 ohms? How much current will an electric heater coil draw from 220 volt source if the resistance of heater coil is 100 ohm? Now here this sum has been given in two parts. Here we are going to utilize Ohm's law. I hope everybody knows what is Ohm's law. V is equal to IR, that is voltage. Potential difference is directly proportional to electric current passing through the conductor. So here V is equal to 220 volt, R is 1200 ohm. According to Ohm's law, we have V is equal to IR. V is equal to IR, so I will be V upon R, and that is 220 upon 1200, and then when we simplify we will get answer 0.18 A, that is ampere. The second part of the sum is V is 220 volt and resistance R is 100 ohm, and we have been asked to find out I. Again we are using the same formula. I is equal to V upon R, 220 upon 100, so we are getting 2.2 ampere. Source is the same, but as the value of R is different, the current drawn is different. Do remember, source is same. Source is same means potential difference is same, 220 volt. Only resistance differ, and because resistance differ, that particular current also changes. Let's see another question. The potential difference between the terminals of an electric heater is 60 volt. When it draws a current of 4 ampere from source, what current will the heater draw if the potential difference is increased to 120 volt? So we have been given here V and I. V is 60 volt and I is 4 ampere. Now again we are using Ohm's law. Ohm's law states that V is equal to IR is equal to V is equal to IR. So we want to find out resistance first. So R is equal to V upon I. So 60 upon 4. 60 upon 4 will give us 15 ohm. Now when the potential difference increases to 120 volt and R is 15 ohm, let us find out I. So V is equal to IR, so I is equal to V upon R. 120 upon 15 will give us 8 ampere. So it will be taking 8 ampere current. It will be drawing 8 ampere current. Then comes about another sum, 12.5. Resistance of a metal wire of length 1 meter is 26 ohm at 20 degrees Celsius. If the diameter of the wire is 0.3 mm, what will be the resistivity of the metal at that temperature? Using earlier table 12.2, predict the metal. The table is given. First we will find out resistivity of the material, and then using the table we will try to find out which metal it can be on the basis of the resistivity. So here R is equal to 26 ohm. Diameter is 0.03 mm. 0.03 mm. So we want to convert it into meter. So it will be 3 into 10 is to minus 4 m. And length is 1 meter. Now here rho is equal to R A upon L. Lastly, you have studied about resistivity of material. And there we have said that resistance R depends directly on length and inversely on area of cross section. And in order to remove that proportionality sign, we had put a constant that was known as rho, and that rho is known as resistivity of the material. So from that we can have this particular formula, rho is equal to Ra upon L. Earlier we have already seen. So let's place the values. So R is 26, area of cross section if we want to find out, then it is area of circle. We are using the formula pi r square. So here pi r is d by 2, this diameter upon 2, that is r. So d by 2 whole square. Length is 1. So 26 into 3.14 into d square upon 4, because d by 2 whole square will become d square upon 4. Now we place the value 26 into 3.14 into 3 into 10 raised to minus 4. We have seen earlier the diameter. Diameter is 3 into 10 raised to minus 4. So we are placing that particular value 3 into 10 raised to minus 4 square upon 4. So we get, on simplification, you will get this particular formation, and that is 13 into 1 point. We are dividing. So this 1, 2 I have divided here. So it becomes 20, 26 by 2. So 13. And 1 I have divided here. 1.57 will be 3.14 divided by 2. So I have written 13 into 1.57 into 9 into 10 is to minus 8. So ultimately when it is calculated, we get this particular figure. And finally 1.84 into 10 is to minus 6 ohm meter. From the table, if we see this particular material, this resistivity value is of manganese. And because it is of manganese, this value, we say that the given metal is manganese. So do remember that. Then we are taking one more sum. A wire of given material having length L and area of cross section A has resistance 4 ohm. What would be the resistance of another wire of same material having length L by 2 and area of cross section 2A? So here we have first, for the first wire we have R1, first wire R1 rho L upon A, and that is given 4 ohm. So this particular value rho L upon A is 4 ohm. Indirectly they have given this is given. Now for the second wire R2 rho into L by 2, because length is half, so we have written L by 2, and area of cross section is doubled, so we have written 2A. So we have rho L upon 4A. So we have 1 upon 4. If I take out common, then we have rho into L by A. And here 1 upon 4 is already there outside the bracket, in the value of the bracket which we have earlier found, and that is 4 ohm. So we have 1 upon 4 into 4, because rho L by A is 4 ohm. So it comes out to be 1 ohm. So resistance of other wire is 1 ohm. This is how we do this particular sum. Let's see one extra sum. A copper wire has diameter of 0.5 mm and resistivity of it is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 6 ohm centimeter. You know resistivity of the material and its unit. Unit is ohm meter. Here it is given ohm centimeter. How much wire will be necessary to make a coil of 10 ohm? So R is given 10 ohm. Length we want to find out. Rho value is given 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 6 centimeter. And this D is 0.5 mm. So we have converted into centimeter, because both the units should be in centimeter. We will get the answer in centimeter. Length we will get it in centimeter. So 5 into 10 raised to minus 2 centimeter. If you remember, when mm is converted into meter, we are writing 10 raised to minus 4. Here we are converted into centimeter, so 10 raised to minus 2. Now let us find area of cross section. First of all, area of cross section value is to be found. So area of cross section, we know that pi r square. So pi into d by 2 whole square, because diameter is given. So pi into d square upon 4. That calculation is simple. I think you will be able to understand. Then 3.14, that is value of pi. Pi into 10 raised to minus 2 whole raised to 2. Because diameter is pi into 10 raised to minus 2. And here we are writing d square. Therefore, we will have to square it upon 4. So we have 3.14 into 25 into 10 raised to minus 4 upon 4 centimeter square, because area it is. Area is always measured in either centimeter square or meter square. And so we have R is equal to rho into, that formula we know, R is equal to rho into L by A. So value of L will be R into A upon rho. On putting the values of R, that is 10 ohm, because we want a wire of 10 ohm, pi 3.14 into 25 into 10 raised to 4, because that is area of cross section which we have earlier found, upon 4 into rho is given. Resistivity of the material is already given in the sum, 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 6. If we calculate this, the value comes out to be 1.22 into 66 meter. So 12266 centimeter. If we convert it into meter, it is 122.66 meter. This much wire has to be prepared. So let's come further now. Let us now come to resistance of a system of resistors. Resistance of system of resistors. There are two ways in which resistors can be connected in the circuit. One is series and other is parallel. So one is series, other is parallel. Let us first see how actually they are connected. What is series connection and what is parallel connection, that we are talking about first. So we have here, we have drawn a circuit diagram. So here we have, when two or more resistances are connected end to end consecutively with one source such that the closed path is formed, then they are said to be connected in series. See there, R1, R2 and R3 are the three resistors and they are connected in series. And there we have connected, or we have shown V, that is voltmeter. Voltmeter is connected in parallel. Parallel connection is the one that is shown. And that ammeter is the current, the device or the meter that measures electric current. So ammeter is connected in series. Earlier we have already said that ammeter is always connected in series and voltmeter is connected in parallel. So here this is a diagram showing how resistors can be connected in series. We will be discussing this particular diagram once again. So let's come to about parallel. When two or more resistors and one source are connected between the same 2 points, they are said to be connected in parallel. So here the diagram shows parallel connection. Here you can see R1, R2 and R3. R1, R2 and R3. They are connected between the same two ends. All the three resistors are connected between same two ends. That's why they are said to be in parallel. Across that we have connected in parallel a voltmeter. And this particular ammeter is connected in series. This is a source of current, source of potential difference. Now let us see advantages of series connection of resistors or series combination of resistors. Here I have given advantages of series connection. You will be finding out, or you will be thinking about, what are the advantages of parallel connection. So here it is, total resistance in the circuit can be increased by connecting the resistors in series. This decreases the current in the circuit. Thus, to control the circuit in the circuit, thus to control the current in the circuit, the series combination of resistor is useful. So indirectly, what are we saying? That by connecting resistors in series, we can increase or decrease the current that is passing through the circuit. So sometimes it is needed that we want high current to pass, so we will decrease the resistance, and it is when we want to allow less current to pass, we will increase the resistance. So do remember about that. Earlier we have seen that V is proportional to I, so obviously V is equal to IR. If I say I, then I is equal to V upon R. So current is inversely proportional to resistance of the conductor. And that's why I said that if we increase the resistance, current will be decreased. And if we decrease the resistance, current passing through the circuit will increase. So now let's come to second use or second advantage. The fuse is connected in series with AC main as well as in an electrical appliance and in the domestic electric connection. So whenever a short circuit occurs in any electrical appliance, the fuse wire melts and stops the flow of electric current. Hence, damage to the appliance is avoided. Now that is another use of series connection. That because fuse that we are using, that fuse is always connected in series. Now let us see how resultant or net or total. See, I am using three words. It can be called resultant, or may be called net, or may be called total resistance. So let us now see how the resultant resistance is found when resistors are connected in series and parallel. Earlier we have already seen the circuit diagram of how resistors are connected. We have seen those two diagrams. Let us now see how a formula is derived in order to find resultant or effective resistance in the circuit. These are the words which can be, which means the same, but in order to confuse you, such words can be used. It may be used net resistance, or find resultant resistance, or find total resistance, or find effective resistance. Refer activity 12.5 given on page 2.211. Refer that activity. Do go through that activity. In that activity, everything is explained which I am about to explain. So we are talking about series connection. How resistors are connected in series. Now here you can see the circuit diagram. Circuit diagram is must. Before you derive the particular equation or particular formula for series connection, this particular circuit is must. Okay, so here you can see the same circuit which we have seen earlier has been drawn. Only the difference is that here across each resistor we have placed a voltmeter. So across R1 there is a voltmeter V1, across R2 there is a voltmeter V2, across R3 there is a voltmeter V3. So here V1, V2 and V3 are the values of the potential differences across R1, R2 and R3. Here this is a source of current, source of potential difference, that is battery, and this is particular ammeter. Now remember, other day I told that this is plus, that is minus. Here minus is there, so in ammeter minus end or minus terminal shown on the ammeter must be connected to negative only, and positive will be connected on the positive. So do remember, circuit is connected as above, and then we find what is the potential difference across R1, R2 and R3 measured as V1, V2 and V3 respectively. So what do? We allow the current to pass. Then we find out what is the potential difference across R1. We will call it V1. What is the potential difference across R2? We will call it V2. And what is the potential difference across R3, which we will call it as V3. And it is observed that, it is found that V is equal to V1, V2, V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. This is what the summation we get, or the result we get, that the total voltage of the battery V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. Now according to Ohm's law, if V is equal to IR, if V1 is equal to IR1, if V2 is IR2, and if V3 is IR3, then in that case we will be able to have this modification in the earlier result. V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. We can write it as IR1 plus IR2 plus IR3. So I take out common. So R1 plus R2 plus R3. Both side I is there. If you take this I on the other side, it will get cancelled. So we will get ultimately the result, and that is RS. That is resultant resistance in series. RS is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. Remember, total resistance in the circuit is the sum of the individual resistances. That is what the result we call it. Total resistance in the circuit is the sum of individual resistors or resistances. So do remember this particular formula. You might be asked to derive that, obtain a relation between three resistors or two resistors when they are connected in series. Or how will we find out total resistance when two, maybe three resistors are connected in series? So you will have to draw the diagram, you will have to explain the circuit diagram, and after circuit diagram explanation, you will have to write that here it is observed that V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3, and finally you will have to come to this particular result. This is how total resistance in series is found out. Now we are coming to resistors in parallel. Here we make a parallel connection of three resistors R1, R2 and R3, which are connected to a battery, a plug key and an ammeter as shown in the given figure. This figure we have earlier already seen. It's not something new, but you need to draw once again. Even while you are writing notes, see that you are drawing this particular figure. We need to plug the key so that the current passes. We need to plug the key and note down the readings in ammeter and voltmeter. We need to find out readings in ammeter and voltmeter. Now remember, here the current that is passing is divided into three parts. It is going in three directions. So how much current is drawn by R1, how much current is drawn by R2, and how much current is drawn by R3 can be found out by placing ammeters over here. I have drawn a broken circle, that here we can place one ammeter, here we can place another ammeter, here we can place third ammeter. So these particular three ammeters will actually measure that how much current is drawn by R1, how much current is drawn by R2, and how much current is drawn by R3. Because here potential difference is not getting divided, here current is getting divided. And when we find out the total current passing in the circuit from this ammeter, that will be recorded as I, this will be recorded as I1, this will be recorded as I2, this will be recorded as I3. And it is observed that I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. Do remember that. So here we have I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. As per the Ohm's law, we have I is equal to V upon R, I1 is V upon R1, I2 is V upon R2, and I3 is V upon R3. And as a result, we can have this particular result as, when we place the value of I is equal to V upon R, we get that particular value. So I is equal to V upon R plus I1, so V upon R1 plus I2, that is V upon R2 plus I3, that is V upon R3. If I take out V common, we have 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3. So ultimately we get, this V gets cancelled because it is on both sides in the numerator, that's why. So we get 1 upon R is equal to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3. This is actually Rp. 1 upon Rp is equal to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3. Remember, in parallel connection or parallel combination of resistors, the potential difference across the different resistance will be same, because in particular circuit we have seen that potential difference remains the same. Total current I in the given parallel circuit is divided among the different resistors, which I stated earlier. The different current is drawn by 3 different resistors. So that is what resistance in series and resistance in parallel are. That is how we derive this particular 2 results. Do remember, do try to understand, and do see that you write down in your notebook and learn, because these are important topics. Next session we will take up with numericals related. That is all for the day. Have a good day. Thank you.